Hey guys, so today I'm going to be going over quotient rule. I think for me, this is one of the more difficult derivatives for me to get down. I just did not like it when I was going through this, going through calculus. But I think the most important thing that I learned from this was to really do our roadmaps. The same with, when I mean roadmaps, I'll show you. But I think taking it slow and trying to map everything out before you go into the derivative is really important. So let's set it up. So what do I mean by roadmap? Well, I mean, we have something like this. We're thinking about taking, I guess I should show that we're going to be taking the derivative of this first, right? So this is my function. As you can see, it's rational. Rational function, I should say, because you have something being divided by something else, right? And there's some variables and they're not able to simplify. Okay. So something that we're going to want to do is that roadmap. So let's get started with that. So what I mean by the roadmap is using the rule. So we're going to have f prime g minus g prime of f all over g squared. So this is our roadmap. This is telling us specific directions. We're going to have the derivative of f times g minus the derivative of g times f all over g squared. F prime and g is the same. G prime is kind of like saying the same thing as taking the derivative of this f and the g. So now what we're going to want to do, and this is for something that is doing the derivative of something like f over g, right? So in this case, if we can make this relationship, the f that we're going to have is going to be up here with that 3x, and then this is going to be our g, right? Hopefully we can see that. So what I like to do is kind of map it all out and kind of write specific directions, right? Because I'm going to have f and I'm going to have f prime. And once I set these all up, I can just plug in these into this map that we got. So f is going to be equal to 3x. So f prime is going to be equal to 3. Not bad, right? Now, we're also going to have this g. And that's going to be 12x to the third. Minus, I want to say minus 20. Scroll up, yeah, okay. Now, g prime is not too bad. I'm going to drop that 3, right? And 3 times 12 is going to be 36. I go over some of the nitty-gritty parts of these derivatives and some of the other videos that we have. But this is really just power rule. And the derivative of a constant is 0. And constant, we mean number. It doesn't matter if it's being subtracted or added. As long as there's a constant being kind of tacked on, we could get rid of it when we take the derivative, or at least it goes to 0 when we do that. All right. So now, kind of following this roadmap, I'm going to plug and play. So let's get started with that. So f prime is 3. And now I'm just referring back to our map. It's going to be times g. Now we're going to keep that subtraction out here. I'm going to kind of open up some more parentheses. I guess we could have done this for this 3 here, but it's not too hard to see that. So now we're going to have g prime, right? Let's just double check. Yeah, so g prime times f. So g prime is 36x. And then f is going to be 3x. right? So this is our F prime, our G, G prime, and our F. But this is all over G squared. Okay, I'm just taking exactly what we have for G, and I'm squaring the whole thing. Okay, so there's probably a couple things that we could do. So let's do it. Let's start to simplify. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to distribute this 3, and then I'm going to distribute this 3x. We're all, I guess I said distribute, but just multiply that 36x squared. Okay, so what we're going to get, it's going to actually come out nice. All right, so 3 times 12 is going to give us 36, right? X cubed minus 60, And now I'm going to still have a subtraction of 3 times 36. So 3 times 36 is equal to 108. And since I have an x and an x being multiplied, I'm going to be left with an x cubed. Okay, or x to the third power. Sometimes we're going to interchange those terms. So that terminology for those. All right, so this is going to be 20 plus 2. Okay. All right, and we don't do anything to our denominator or the bottom part of our fraction. So what we really have in here is now 36 x to the third minus, because since this is positive and we multiply by a negative, it's going to just be a negative. So I mean, I could have really, we could have really just dropped these parentheses at this point. It would change if we had a negative somewhere in here, but since we don't, we could just do this. So what I'm going to do, simplify here. So we're going to get negative 72x cubed minus 60 all over 12x through minus 20. That's going to be squared. So really, and this is it. This is w of x, so it's going to be w prime. It's w prime of x too, so we kind of switch out some of that notation sometimes. But just so you guys know, is w of x, because our variable is x in here. And we were given that from the start that it was going to be w of x. So really, when we do these, we want to be careful, and that's why I prefer that to set up this roadmap and start filling in what we don't know. Starting with f, doing f prime, and it doesn't matter the order that you do these, as long as you know what your g and your g prime are, because we're going to want to take these and plug them into the equation as we did. And really, the only derivatives we're doing are in here. Everything else is kind of algebra, right? Like after we found out what f prime and g prime were, the calculus was over, and we were just going through with some of the algebra. And I get it, algebra, could look complicated, could be a little complicated, but as long as you take everything step by step, going to be good. And yeah, so sometimes we're most comfortable multiplying from left to right, but we could multiply from right to left as well. You just have to be a little careful about those things. Make sure that it's multiplication. But yeah, hopefully this was a help. And these are all equal to that w prime. Okay. Yeah, hopefully this was helpful. We really don't want to do this. You could FOIL this out. I don't think anything's really going to come out of here. So this is going to be that answer that we're going to want. So yeah, just be careful when we do those quotient rules. And I get it. I didn't really like them, but once you get this little roadmap down, it's always going to be the same. and I like to set this up. So yeah, hopefully you're able to get through it. Take your time, and don't stress. This is all fun. All right, see you guys.